Hey guys, welcome back to the Horse Girls Podcast
for our second episode.
My name's Nana.
And I'm Lauren.
And this is where chaos
and glamour
finds a distance.
Okay, this has been the longest day ever.
We started at 8.
We started at 8.
I got up at 6.
She got up at 6. And
it is now 3. And
it's 3. We're still filming. And it started off by, having a rough morning by having to move locations and getting,
viscerally.
Yeah, just having to move locations. No more we're going to say about that.
Yeah,
then
enough with that, yeah.
And then, what's it called? Then we proceeded to film here, and the camera died, and then the memory was out, and then the audio wasn't filming. So it's been a 7-8 hour process now.
Yeah, it's been 8 hours, and we're
Which
actually
is
literally on my last life. So guys,
Yeah.
as you guys already know, I'm literally the most triggering person out there. I'm literally the most offensive person out there. If I say something that's super offensive, I don't care. I'm literally losing it. If you had the day I would have, you would be roasting people as well.
Yes.
So we're going round 3, super duper triggering, super duper offensive.
2, right?
No, round 3, because the last time I said we're on round 2 of the last episode of the podcast, because I literally got more offensive when it turned dark.
Oh, okay.
So this is round 3.
Okay, round 3.
So yeah, we're round 3.
Honestly, it's round 12 by now.
Round 12.
We refilmed a lot.
We really filmed. So again, PSA: if you get easily offended, this podcast is not for you.
Yeah,
click
it's
off.
not for you.
Literally click off. Literally, I can't do it. I literally if I get one comment that's I was offended, I don't care. It's skill issue.
Okay, so we are going to. I'm checking the audio to make sure it's
Actually,
stabilized.
not really ruining our lives.
Okay, so we're gonna basically start off with our topic today. It's gonna be money.
We're getting into how expensive the equestrian world actually is.
And the corruption and the chaos that goes with that.
Yeah, we're getting juicy. This is the juiciest topic. So are you ready? Literally buckle in, because the energy I'm bringing to you guys, this is my last amount of energy. This is it. So this is you're getting everything.
This is our final straw.
Final ounce of life. So this is all the energy. I'm bringing it up. We're amped up. We're fired. We're literally exposing the horse world on the costs, the logistics, and why is the sport so expensive? Yeah. Maybe you could start off with that.
Why? This is your first question. Why
that's my first question to you. Why is this sport literally the most expensive sport in the world? Why?
It's because it's been too long that this sport has been it's gatekeeping.
It's gatekeeping.
It's honestly, it comes down to how expensive something is how much somebody will agree to pay for it.
Yes.
If you have a garbage can and somebody's willing to pay $1 million for it, that's what it's worth. Okay? But if you have a Ferrari and nobody on this planet is willing to pay more than $2 for it, that's what it's worth.
That's true.
It is what somebody's willing to pay for.
That's right.
One man's trash is another man's treasure. And for some reason,
why is she spitting fast?
My reason is the same way as some reason. This where so many people are willing to pay up. And the price still goes because they have so much love for horses. Every time the price increases, people don't combat it. People don't go on strike.
You're right. Why don't we just go on strike? I don't understand why enough people are just not literally protesting this sport. This sport has so many problems. This sport needs to actually get Why are there no protests? Why are there no lobbies?
I think it's because it's such a different price range in so many different countries that there's no unionization. You literally go to France. I'm telling you guys, you go to France and you go in their sports chalet or their big 5 sporting goods stores.
Yeah. And
it's not here where it's all you see is tennis, baseball,
that's so true.
Soccer, which is great. Those are great sports, but you don't even see one thing about equestrian stuff.
That's
when it is
true.
A sport. And so you go to France and you have 2 full aisles full of affordable equestrian gear,
right?
Which is where I get a lot of my pants. So it's not it's affordable and not usable. I have had the same pants for 5-6 years.
Yeah.
And so they make it affordable. It's more accessible to a lot of people. But it's those hotels. It's those super luxurious hotels and resorts that are blocked out off from a certain group of people. They do that purposely.
Yeah, they want to exclude people from the sport. It's it's a very exclusive sport. It's we only want this type of people in the sport, especially in the US, where it's that's why it's like a necessity. I make fun of them all the time on my TikTok, but it's like, guys, I make fun of everyone. But like, it's a necessity for like barns, like backyard barns. Like, I know Europeans are going to be mad at me when I say this because they're going to be like, that's not the standard. But like, you don't understand. This sport is really expensive here.
Yeah, so expensive.
There is a necessity.
If that's the only way you can stay in the saddle, then that's what you got to do. What you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
If you got to go to the most raunchiest backyard barn, maybe you're riding in the mud, but the horses are happy, go.
Yeah,
go.
Exactly.
Like, literally
whatever
go.
you can do
Whatever
to stay
you
in the
can
saddle.
do. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell someone and like be super like elitist where it's like, oh, you can't ride in that. But who cares if there's like a bunch of like, you know, as long as the horses are happy, no one's in danger. If it is it
doesn't
scuffed?
matter where or what you're riding.
Exactly. Is it scuffed? Yeah. Who cares? Like, if everyone's happy, everyone's safe, and that's the only place that you can afford, go.
And I know that they made more programs. I think it was like through West Palms. Don't they have like sponsorships?
Yeah.
And how does that work?
Yeah, there's like programs that have like sponsorships, and you can go through like different
but I don't
channels.
think A shows do that, do they?
A shows do not do that because they have the 150-mile radius rule.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is, I can get into that one.
Yeah.
Essentially, like, the reason horse shows are so expensive, where it's like horse shows, you literally will put like five brands, like literally like 5,000 is the average, right? Is that the average you spend on horse show?
It used to be 3,000.
It used to be 3,000 when I started too.
I know.
It used to be 3,000. Now it's 5,000.
I remember 3,000 was like crazy too. I was like, wow, this is so expensive. And now 5,000, that just seems like, I mean, that's how much people pay for like a car.
5,000 still seems like pretty average to me for horse showing, and that's how you know it's so bad, because like it could get worse, and it's gotten worse. Like, there's been some shows where it's like, because I was from Vegas and had to trailer in to Thermal because of that distance.
That trailer was probably like, what, $1,000?
$1,000 alone. So that upped it to, my bill was $7,000 after the end of the show. So I always thought Thermal was $7,000. Now I'm going to show at Thermal, it's $5,000. And I'm like, oh, okay. But like, the fact that I'm like, oh, okay, that's affordable. Like, that's like still not affordable. And it's, and I'm not even going to sit here and say like, because, you know, we had like a comment that was like, daddy's money. But it's like, guys, we literally work for this as well. Like, I literally work for all my money. Like, I started a company when I was 13. Like, I've hustled to like provide, and don't get me wrong, I have to acknowledge that I am in a position where I am supported by the most supportive parents in the world, and that's why I'm able to do a lot of the things that I do. But it still doesn't always make it easy, because I also, like, I pay for my horse. I pay for my show bills. You know?
Exactly. And like, it's like same with me. Like, I'm so like lucky to have, you know, like parents that support me, but it's like, that's why I'm not showing right now, because it's so expensive too, that it's just like, I don't like, it's so expensive. It's
literally
so
like
guys,
amazing.
That's why like we're very creative, we're very entrepreneurial. Yeah. And you know, I don't agree with like making my parents pay that much to begin with. That's like, but I feel put like them through that. And two is just like, you cannot. Yeah. So it's just like, and if you do, then that's fine. But like, for me, it's just, it's so expensive, and it's just like, you know what, I'm gonna work to like make my own money. Yes. And we are like very entrepreneurial, so we're like, let's create like a creative solution.
Podcast or something like
and
that.
So that's where this podcast kind of came about. Yeah. Because it's just like, we needed some kind of creative solution.
Yeah, and we also like, we just want to really find, like, I feel like there should be a way for like equestrians to like get their way through the sport through like different mediums that are like not average, because I feel like the way you have to get either come through the sport is you have to be born a horse family, be born a millionaire or a billionaire, or that's it. That's your two options. But there should be there should be a way to work your way up to the top. Like, there should be like, if I do this, like, can I work like, because like part of being like also like an influencer is like, you know, you provide value to certain places, but I feel like that's not always the case, like, in the horse world. Like, if I go to a restaurant, I say I have 130,000 people following me on TikTok, that's like, whoa, oh my gosh, like, that's amazing, I'll give you a free meal. If I say that to a bar, nobody cares.
Yeah, no, and it's just because it's, like, such a sport that's, like, it's really based off of money and how much money you
corruptness.
Have, which creates that corruption. Yeah. And so then it's just, like, it overtakes like the importance of it, and that's where like money really is like the driver for this sport, which is really sad. And that's why we are creating, guys, for you guys, like, do not worry, we're creating, you know, an exclusive, like, okay, it's gonna be exclusive, but not in the sense of like where it's like based on money. It's gonna be exclusive because we're gonna be taking specific content creators that have a passion, that have a drive, and that are like passionate equestrians, and that passionately post content as well. And we're going to be helping them connect with brands. Yes. And we're
like
really
an
excited.
Agency, almost,
like an agency.
But specifically for equestrians, where we advocate for equestrian content creators.
Exactly.
And give them platforms, get them paid brand deals.
Yes.
Paid brand deals.
That's the problem, because in this sport they like to take
free, always.
Yeah.
Free, mooch off of, like,
Yes.
no, that's not happening here. We're getting you guys paid. We're getting you guys secured with brand deals, events, like, sponsor, like, in the horse world, too. Like, opportunities in the horse world as well.
Exactly.
You know, like, go to different
really
events.
just tying the knot on, like, the separation that I feel like, the gap that you feel where it's like you kind of feel alone. You're like, I don't know if I can afford this. I don't know if I can move up because I can't afford, like, there's just so much I feel like that we need to put to rest in that spectrum of things, because it's just not healthy, especially for the sport to, like, endure in this country specifically. I feel like if it's going to continue like that, because then it's just going to become an exclusive, even more exclusive sport with inflation and everything coming on. Like I said, $3,000 for a thermal is $5,000 now. So
I know,
it's ridiculous.
And we want a way for people to succeed in the sport, so we're gonna have this avenue where, like, you don't even have to have 1 million followers. No, we're not even looking for that. We're looking for somebody that has a passion and creates amazing content.
Exactly.
And then we want to represent you and get you, like, literally paid brand deals with other organizations that aren't part of the horse world, because that's how you're going to make most money, because people think riding is actually cool, and then facilitate you know, like, partnerships with horse shows and stuff like that. So if anyone's interested at all, like, send us over an email.
And we're going to be doing a big launch very soon.
So stay tuned to that.
Exactly.
But yeah, so let's get right back into our topic.
Yes. We're going to start off with something that I think people would enjoy.
Okay.
And I think that, like, there's so many sports. Riding is, like, probably the most expensive sport. I agree.
Yeah.
But there's other sports that are pretty expensive too.
Like what?
Formula 1, yacht racing, like sailing.
Yacht racing, bro.
There's literally, like, yacht racing.
The yacht racing is so funny. And, like, I'm sorry, like, I don't know if you guys have seen, but I'm taking a sailing class this semester, so I actually started, like, taking serious I actually sail now. Like, all the rigging and all that stuff, like, I can do that. So if you
it's a sailing, it's a big thing.
Yeah, so yachting is the same thing as so all boats are basically yachts. Like, a sailboat, a standard sailboat that you see is basically a yacht. That's yachting, essentially. It's, like, all interchangeable. But they have these, like, races that are costing a lot of money, where they, like, literally,
how much
like,
does a race cost, do you think?
I don't know, but I've seen these sailboat races. Let me look it up. Where they're, like, taking the sailboats on the water, and the sailboat is, like, barely, it's like dinging like this, and they're just, like, and these sailboats are not fast. They're maybe going, like, 25 miles an hour, and, like, they're just racing each other on this, like, you know, on this thing.
Okay, so this is the Gentleman's Journal, of course. Where else would I like find this stuff?
Gentleman's Journal.
So it says, oh wait, join now for free. No, I don't. No. In 10 years. No, just kidding. No. Once I become, like, a crazy entrepreneur and, like,
you already are, girl.
Bust the bank.
Yeah,
maybe I'll be interested in their Gentleman's Journal yacht.
Gentleman's Journal.
Okay. For now, no. Okay. For now, we barely have a car.
Yeah, literally.
Like, we barely have, like.
So if you want to sponsor this podcast, please do.
Okay, so the base boat costs, like, between 10 and 20 million.
Wow.
Which is crazy. The base boat.
That's what I'm telling you.
That is expensive, but the real costs rack up when you have to pay for the upkeep. And it can come, like, around like $3 million a year for the upkeep.
Wow.
And that's not even, like, registration. Like, they have these, like, literally, like, these like actual races that people, like, go into. I'm sure the racing fees is
insane.
So expensive, probably. And I know that they have these exclusive groups where it's like, I think that's a very elitist. That is a sport, right?
Yachting?
Yeah, or not really.
What do you even consider a sport? What do you consider a sport?
Well, like, are you having to, like pull on the sail?
Yeah, the rigging and all that stuff is a lot of work, yeah, because I literally almost, like, strained my back trying to pull down those rigs. Like, I had to, like, jump on the line and literally go, like, like, it's really actually really hard. It's really hard. So no, that is a sport. It's a sport, yeah.
But then what about while you're sailing? Like, what are you doing?
So, like, when you're sailing, you're doing everything. Like, you're trying to navigate the sail, so you have to get the sails up. So that's where you're doing the rigging.
So it is a sport.
Yeah,
so,
100%.
Okay.
100%. And then there's, like, a lot of, like, technical stuff. Like, you have to have someone who's good at math and geometry and all that weird shit. Like,
and if we're having to do with leisure, like, a recreational activity, like, we could compare it to people that fly their own little own little planes.
Yeah.
That's also very expensive.
Yeah, that's also very, very expensive. Like,
And that's like a
all that
recreational activity that some people, if they don't classify horseback riding as a sport, which, again, that's not true.
stuff. Literally not true.
But if you want to call it a recreational activity, there's other super expensive recreational.
But I don't understand how horse riding or equestrian is not a sport, but F1 is.
Yeah.
How is F1 a sport?
No, Judy, because it takes, like, literally
But
those
what stamina
guys,
does it take to drive a car?
Those guys are like I don't know if it's like G-Force, like I'm gonna sound crazy.
G-Force? Is that the movie about the hamsters?
It's a guinea pig. It's a guinea pig. Okay?
The way she corrected me?
Yeah, I used to have a guinea pig. So yeah, I used to have two, but like literally, no, but like it's like, what is it, the Force? It's not G-Force.
I think it is G-Force.
It is G-Force.
I think it's
okay,
G-Force.
it's G-Force, guys. Okay.
It's G-Force now!
So the G-Force on your, like, when you're driving the car, dude, you're literally being, like, sucked in.
Whoa. Into
And,
like a
like,
vortex?
They literally lose, like, I don't know how many pounds it is, but they lose so much weight after every race. That's how much work it is. They work. Like, I think it was,
Really?
like, Carlos Sainz that, like, was talking about, like, how much, like, they sweat so much. And also the gear that they wear is so heavy that's pushed down on them.
Bro.
With the helmet, and then they have something that pushes down on them, I'm pretty sure. That, like, it's like a full body workout just to be able to, like, not, like, black out.
Wow.
Because it's so much force on them
So
that
much
some people
adrenaline,
could,
too.
like, pass out. It's
Whoa.
not even the adrenaline, it's, like, the force, dude. Like, they have to have the stamina to, like, it's, like, they have to focus on breathing. It's, like, such a workout. And they lose, like, 5 pounds after every race.
What?
It's crazy.
Well, guys, if you're looking for a how to lose weight scheme really
Yeah.
fast, you should just go into F1. Because
Find some sponsors though, because it's about like 15, $12 million.
yeah,
per
it's like
car.
exactly. That's like a lot of money to spend on a single car. But I don't understand how you can even like justify that. At what cost? Like, at what point is it you're just gonna?
Guys, I think it's my next door neighbor that literally vacuums his RV every day. Like, honestly, is this like a lawnmower moment where we're gonna have to go down?
Are you friends with him? Can we knock on his door and ask him to chill it out?
Dude, he literally, I'm like scared of everyone.
I feel like we already got yelled at, so it's fine.
Stop.
Okay.
Maybe if we just say it loud enough, he'll stop. Because he just did.
Dude, I have the best idea.
What?
What if we just did like a whole like matchmaking site with like equestrians and F1, because all the girls are equestrians, all our guys are
Or
literally,
like F1. Dude,
all,
that's
like,
perfect.
all our
Dude,
guys are literally
we need
taking
a
our guy.
matchmaking F1.
We need
site.
but matchmaking specifically F1
Yes,
and
F1,
equestrians.
nothing else.
Because
Everything else is a
equestrians,
waste of time.
equestrians are just F1 or just F1 men.
It's like the
We're just
equestrians.
car bros. We're just car bros.
Equestrian girls, horse girls are the F1 versions.
Yes, horse girls
are the girl versions of F1 drivers.
Yes, of F1 drivers and car bros. We're literally car bros. Look at us. We're literally car bros. We just want our F1s because they're literally like, we need to literally create like this site because like F1, like what do you do?
Okay, but let's be real. Do you think Carlos Sainz is gonna want to like have a walk trot like Tanner like girl? Like no, he's gonna want like Global Champions Tour, like award-winning Miami Beach, Monaco.
But why doesn't he want to
Saint-Tropez.
walk trot? Do you think he could do walk trot?
No, but he's gonna be like, I need somebody on my level.
Bruh.
He's blasting in the car.
Yeah,
dude.
he is blasting.
He's gonna want like some like
rizzed up, like
yeah.
iconic, like horse girl.
exactly.
Well, then he needs to become an iconic horse man or something like that. I don't know. Like, why he asking so much out of this girl for him to be like, literally, like, we're acting as if he's actually saying this. But, like, what? Like, why are he expecting so much? I feel like he can take the bare minimum.
he actually is expecting way too
Why
much.
haven't we looked at F1 guys? Why?
Okay, who do you know in F1? Say their names.
Matt Verstappen?
The way she like casually said that like so low, so like the slurring of the words to make it
What's
like
his name?
not sound.
Mick Verstappen?
Oh my god. Max Verstappen.
Max?
Max.
Verstappen.
Verstappen. Verstappen. Okay,
Guys,
who else?
I really hope I don't cry on stream because I always cry on stream. Carlos? Is there a guy named Carlos? Carlos DeSantis?
No, not DeSantis. Carlos DeSantis, bro. That is a stretch. Carlos Sainz. He's from Spain.
Oh,
okay.
Carlos Sainz. I knew of him. I could have said that.
Okay, who else?
Guys, I also when I laugh, I cry. So if I start crying, that's why. Okay, I cry when I laugh. Lauren knows this.
Yes.
I don't know any guy.
Do you know like Charles? Have you heard of Charles?
Who's Charles?
Charlie
Charlie Brown?
Charles Leclerc. He's like the iconic for I think he's on Ferrari.
Ferrari, really?
And he's doing he's Monaco.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, we should go to Monaco and we should meet him there.
Yeah, we're gonna meet him.
Then we're gonna meet him.
Yeah.
Honestly, why? Okay, so here's my
We're
thing.
creating a business between equestrian and Formula One, guys.
Yeah,
If you haven't realized
literally.
it yet, our business that we were announcing at the beginning is really just to bridge the gap between equestrians and Formula
Yeah,
One.
we
So if
really
you want
just
to be
want
part
to
of
go
that,
to F1, honestly. Because
just
here's
like-
the thing, like F1, I'm going to say this to you, like as a community, what are you guys doing? Like honestly, as a community, like you guys should be all over the equestrian world. You guys should be all over horse
There's
people.
so many
because we're
connections.
literally there's so many connections, but also yeah, there are connections, but it's also like horsepower, cars, but also we're literally you guys just in girl versions. We're as crazy as you guys. We're as like reactive and like weird. We're as
Obsessed with
dramatic.
our
We're so
sport.
dramatic. Like I was like watching or my roommate was watching this like show about like F1, this reality TV show, and I'm like, these guys are so girly pop. They're literally like arguing over like they're literally like fighting. I don't know, it was like Toto or something, and he was like fighting with the other guy, and he was like no. This car is not made to perfection. It's not made to standard.
but I feel him though.
Yeah,
like,
and he's
we get him.
But he's like throwing a tantrum. He's
Yeah.
like literally like he like takes this bucket, he like chucks it across the room. He's like, it's not up to standard, and he's like literally yelling at his men, and his men are like, what the fuck? And they're like fighting with each other. He's like, no, it is. He's like, no, like this is my race. Like you guys are so girly pop, and like the drama that you guys have, it's literally
it's
so
drama that us equestrians know exactly how.
we
to
know exactly what you guys are talking about. Like F1 needs to come together with Horse Girls, where it's like an F1 and a Horse Girls reality
Collaboration.
TV show
Yeah.
collaboration, where we're talking about cars and horses, where we showcase our drama and you guys showcase your drama, and then we both get super girly pop together.
And I think that we have to go be put in a day in the life as an F1 driver, and they should be put in as like a day in the
life
as,
with
like,
an equestrian. So
That'd be
F1,
perfect.
reach out to us so we can have you guys as a day in a life as an
Exactly.
equestrian, because I need to see you guys in the saddle. If you guys can handle 1,000, I don't know, pounds
How
of
many
G-force.
pounds is their horse? Oh yeah, 1,000. How many G-force?
Did you just ask how many
Wait,
pounds is their horse?
How many? Yeah. No wait. How many pounds is their? If their car weighs just as much as our horse, it should be fine.
Yeah, because our horses are 14,000 pounds. How much does a F1 car weigh? This is why horses are better than cars, by the way, because our cars weigh more. Or what? Our horses weigh more.
1,759.
Is that more? Wait, that's more.
Yeah.
Why do I'm keeping astronomically incorrect?
Keeps being astronomically
Do
incorrect.
you guys know that saying where it's like women are 16 more likely to be right, but we're also 16 more likely to be wrong?
60 more what? Percent?
Percent, yeah.
Oh, okay,
This is
60%.
literally my entire
16%
day.
more
16% more likely to be wrong.
Than men?
No, yeah, we're 16% more likely to be more right than men, but we're also 16 times more likely to be wrong than men.
So basically, we're like either.
So I've been on the
or
wrong.
always right.
Yeah, and I've been on the wrong train all day today. I've been on the wrong
This
train.
podcast has been on the wrong train all day
Oh,
today.
yeah, this has been on the
This
wrong
is our
train.
5th trial filming run.
And I literally embarrassed myself on the last filming because I literally thought that like horse riding was more expensive than F1, which
No.
apparently it's not, because why are you guys dropping $15 million on your car? Whereas like I don't have any ground to speak on because horses are literally like millions of dollars too,
Yeah.
and thousands of dollars. And I've definitely made some interesting purchases in mine.
Yeah.
But still, who can justify that? Why on earth do
It's
you need
what
a
people
15
are
million?
willing to pay.
It's-
Again.
Yeah, we're back to the same
We're
point.
back, and then it's like the yacht racing. Like, if people are willing to pay that, let's charge them up the nose.
So I feel like what it is like this is a Greek row. The equestrians are on the sorority side, and the F1 are on the frat side. And bro, the F1 people are the frat boys, and the sorority girls are the horse girls.
Exactly.
But they don't know that the horse girls exist yet. It's like that story is like the guy doesn't know that the girl exists, but the girl is like the girl of his dreams.
Exactly.
So what we're
basically
doing is starting a dating site for equestrians and Formula One drivers to match up, because we don't have any viable men in this sport.
So if there's no equestrians, we'll just have to resort to Formula One drivers.
Yeah, because
like we're not gonna take anything less.
Yeah, because all the men in our sport are like either 50 years old or like just not there. Not there. I'm not there. So we're just gonna have to move disciplines.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Nana, what do you have for me?
Okay, so I have a juicy question. I'm gonna shift the conversation like a little more, like give you like a really like kind of like spicy one.
Okay.
But do you personally think that the equestrian world can fix the corruptness and like fix this price issue, or do you think we're just done for? Like, do you think there's a fix? Like, do you think this sport could be financially easier on people?
I think like,
Or like if it's like corrupt, who do we stop? And like, why is it corrupt?
I think that like you have to take it case by case, like country by country.
Okay.
France, in the case, I keep going back to France, guys, because I live there like during the summer, so that's like the one other example I can kind of compare to.
Yeah.
But I think that France, like, they do, a lot of it is like government funded.
Okay.
And so like the equestrian center that I would ride at, it's like subsidized by the government.
Okay.
So then it cuts costs because it's like it's subsidized.
Okay.
So like board is not as expensive. Training is not as expensive.
Okay.
Like over there, if you want to take a lesson, it's like 60, 70 euro.
Yeah.
And
whereas
that's
like
like
here it's like $120.
Yeah, like at least.
At
and then
least,
if you like break down how many lessons you get for when you're leasing a horse, like it's like so expensive. So I feel like honestly, like here the prices keep going up and up, like higher and higher. So I don't see it coming down anytime soon, honestly. Because people, like I said in the beginning, like people are going to pay. If they're willing to pay, that's what it's worth.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like people are having any problems not going to thermal. Still, so many people are going to thermal. Still, so many people are, you know what I mean?
That's
so if
true.
everybody keeps going to these shows and if we just keep going to these shows and not having like problems with it, then it's just going to stay more and more, like get more and more expensive with inflation. So
That's
there's like
true.
nothing we can do, honestly.
That's true. Like, honestly,
It's
like,
what you're willing to pay, and people are not going to they're not going anywhere.
yeah, that honestly, like,
Yeah.
that kind of like, yeah, that's pretty much true. Like, if people feel complacent in whatever position they're
Versus,
in.
I know if you send a French person here after what they're used to paying there, I know they won't even be going to a horse show.
No, they won't.
So they're gonna, you know what they'll do? The French, they're very revolutionary, and they go on strike a lot.
They'll start the guillotine up.
They're literally gonna
They'll start the hammer. It's coming back.
like they're
We're going
gonna,
back to the
they
heads.
will literally like create their own horse show, and it'll become bigger than the horse show that's super expensive. That's
But you
they
know
would
what?
do.
The problem is we can't create our own horse show
Yeah,
because of the
because-
150 rule. So there's a 150
rule.
mile radius rule. I don't actually. It might be something else. Like people are like, it's not that number. Okay, well I don't have it on the.
There's some kind of radius
It's-
that you can't build another horse show within the certain radius of another horse
of a
show.
North or
Yeah.
A circuit show, only for A circuit shows. But like, you could make like a C-rated show next to an A-rated show, but like, who's gonna go to the C-rated? That's the
Yeah.
issue, and they know that. That's why they only say it for the A circuit show.
So it's basically creating a monopoly.
Monopoly, conglomerate,
Yeah.
basically, where it's like they can't have any competition because like I can't go next to Thermal, and I can't start like Nana's Palm Springs
Yeah.
like international events.
Yes.
Because Desert International Horse Park is like right next to it, so I can't just go to the weird field right across from Thermal, which I don't know what they're growing out there. Anybody know?
Herbs.
Tell me. It's weird. But I can't.
Carrots.
Yeah, but I can't decide and be like, hey, I'm gonna chop down your field. It's kind of sketch out here, and I'm gonna build Nana's International Equestrian Center. I can't do that. Like, you know, because there's a rule that says I can't start whatever. So it's like it allows these horse shows to charge like astronomical prices,
No, exactly.
even if it's like maybe like not what they're paying for, or like they're generating more profit off of like whatever through this medium. It doesn't matter. And I know Played Horse Magazine shed light on this issue a while back ago, but there hasn't been anything addressed after the fact of like that
No,
issue.
and it's like if you address it, it's one thing. Like that's great, but then there's also the action.
Yeah, what's the
There's
solution?
like a multiple step process to making like change. Like realizing there needs to be change is the first step. That's great.
Yes.
But then, like, how do you act on
what?
that?
Yeah. What are
and
the
what
steps?
do you do?
What
and
are
how,
the steps?
what is your end goal?
That's what we're missing in the sport. It's like we can talk all day in this chair and talk about the problems, blah, 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 but let's bring solutions to the table. I personally think that you can change the sport. You can make it absolutely more affordable. But it's, again, what you said is about if people
But then
actually
if people are willing to
do
pay,
it.
though, that's the thing.
Yeah,
These people are willing to pay, so then why would they want to lower their prices?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's
Because
like,
then if they lose people, they'll just jack up the prices even higher and make the people that can pay still pay more.
but dude, that's the sucky thing. That we really got ourselves into a conglomerate situation. That's the thing.
That's the problem, and that's why I'm just saying, like, if you go to France, you see, like, every 20 minutes you drive and you see a new horse show spring up.
So what
and
we
it's
need,
just like,
so then what we need, I know, like, people are always like, eat the rich, but, like, honestly, like, don't. Because what we need...
And it's not the wealthy people's problem. Like, that if they work that hard and if they got that money, they can spend it on what they want.
Yeah, literally.
They should be allowed to do what they want. But the problem is because... It's not their fault. You can't blame it on the wealthy people.
Yeah.
You have to be clear about the fact that, like, it's the fact that, like, maybe it's that 150 rule, because if people could, like, create their own horse shows, it's just like, and
it's
also
the organizations. It like falls on the organizations,
Yes.
and I think also it's like, I think what needs to happen is, honestly, this is where, like, my perspective is, like, you guys, like, don't be afraid to go out and make a lot of money. Make a lot of money so you can change this. Because we can't change, you can't really change this from the ground. But if some billionaire woke up and said, I want to make riding more affordable for people, and started organizations and like, I would rather you guys have a lot more money than like some billionaires that like don't even care about any of that are like causing all these issues. Like, I would rather be like, you guys become billionaires, make a lot of money, and then start like programs to like help and like help the sport become more affordable. Because like we had WEC happen with Robbie Roberts, who started WEC to make riding more affordable, but then even WEC became even
expensive.
Exactly. So
then it's like, I think what you need to do is like,
we need a conglomerate power to be like who can fund more horse shows and who can bypass those laws to make adequate change, because nobody from the ground can, like a kid with their pony that can barely like afford their next like show bill or something, can't make the adequate change,
No,
like it's got to come from the top.
It has to come from the top. And that's the thing is that if all prices went down, but then with inflation, it's just like it's too, like, I feel like we're already so deep into it that it's like it's gonna take a lot of change from up top to like get this managed.
And I think it'll take a lot of work, but everything takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
Everything takes a lot of work. And I think like if people just had less of a defeatist attitude where it's like we're screwed, more of like a like let's try, like let's fight, like let's see what we can do. I think if that people had more of that perspective, we'd make a lot more progress in this world, instead of people just being like there's nothing we can do. Like
no, and exactly, and that's why like I cannot stand when people are like, hating on the people that have money and that can't afford it, because it's like a lot of them work very hard to get to where they are.
That is true.
And once they have their money, that's their money. They can spend it on what they want.
Yeah.
So like, good for them. They can go to like 12 weeks of WEF and have like, I don't know, 12 horses go and go show left, right, and center and have the new everything. If that's what they want to spend it on, amazing. If I had like a lot of money to my name, I would probably want to do a good amount of that too. I would want to show and have a couple horses and everything.
I think it definitely has like perspective in that.
We need to change the way that we do things.
But I also think like on that point, I think where people get a little mad is just where like like the people that have a lot of money, like like I think like a lot of people, like I feel like everyone kind of works hard. Like there's a lot of people that don't have a lot of money and they work hard. So I think it's like I think, and there's some rich people that have never worked a day in their life. So I think there's like a balance.
And I think what's hard is that like a lot of people in this sport, like it's kind of like I would say like a stereotyped as like a old money sport. Yeah. So a lot of it is like generations of like mother to daughter tradition. Yes. And so a lot of these pony kids like get born into this, and they don't have to deal with like the struggle of like struggling to move up because the horses are so expensive, and maybe we can't show this month, and which is like, I mean, these are all first world problems at the end of the day, guys.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
This is all just like,
but that's what I'm saying as well, is like, even no matter what position you're in, we all have liberty and privileges somewhere.
Yeah.
Why not? Why do you always have to reflect on like, oh, that person's doing better with me because they have this and that and that? Stop.
You can't compare yourself.
Stop
Everybody's
comparing
so different.
yourself. Yeah. Because you don't know what that person did to get where they're
exactly.
at. You don't know how much that person
worked
struggled.
a lot, or maybe they didn't do anything.
Yeah, you can't say
judge.
that.
Yeah.
You can't definitively say that, oh, I know this person's financial. You don't know that person's life.
Yeah, and if you were born like that, lucky for them. But don't try tearing them down to make yourself feel better.
Exactly. Why don't the issue is people focus on other people and don't focus on themselves.
Yeah.
That's the issue. First and foremost, if everyone decided to focus on themselves and instead of like, oh, what this rider's doing because they have a lot of money, and like literally look inwards and try to find solutions for yourself, we wouldn't be here.
And I think that there's always a creative solution for everything.
Yes,
even though it may seem like there's nowhere you can go. There's ways, guys.
Always.
That, like,
this is a polarity planet. There's a positive, there's a negative to everything. There's ways.
Because you have to think about it too. Like, there's other sports and other like sectors in life that are so expensive.
Yes.
But there's always ways you can kind of go in like the back door.
Yeah.
Like whether you work hard at the stables and really respect a trainer and they see that you respect them and that you work hard with them and that you're giving your time to help them and that they slowly give you more and more opportunity. It's gonna take longer. Don't get me wrong. It's gonna maybe take more. It's gonna take more work. But there's a way you can do it if you try.
And there's people out there that you have to find that will have your back. Like,
exactly.
My trainer is one of those people. I have to really shout out Storia Stables here because Storia Stables, Victoria, like, you are the sweetest trainer. Like, I've never had a trainer fight for me before until I met Victoria. Like, the way she fights, she fought for me to get Santiago. She literally fought so that I could have a chance to do my dream, which my dream was to be a show jumper. She fought so hard for me. She's advocated for me for everything. And like, she is so, like, I am so like honored to have such beautiful people in my circle that have my back.
Yeah.
But
that's really important. But it takes time to create those connections.
It takes time, but also
you had to go through a lot to get there.
I had to go through a lot, and also, but I didn't start getting that for myself until I started to give that to myself. And I think once I started working on myself and what I want and like treating myself better, then I started to get people in my circle that were treating me the way that I treated myself. But I was too hard on myself. I was too like, oh, I'm like, I can't get here, or I like ride like shit or whatever. Like, I was like drinking the Kool-Aid of like, bad things that I heard in the past and all that stuff. So then I was like projecting that reality. I think if you have a positive mindset in everything that you do, you're gonna create that reality.
And it's about like persistence and like you have to be like consistent with what you do as well. Like a lot of it is like persistence, sticking to sport. And same thing with me. Like I'm so like thankful for my current trainers. Being able to like ride Cornwall is like like a dream for me. Like to have like
incredible
an incredible opportunity to ride him. And for my trainers, like, and his owner setting that up and allowing me to ride an amazing horse like that is like an opportunity that I'm always forever thankful for. I rode sales horses in the past that trainers have given me the opportunity to ride, like forever thankful for that as well. I've ridden at past partners that like really were like the best, giving me the best opportunity. And when I couldn't afford to, ride and get horses that I could ride and improve, And so like, it's just like one of those things that like you have to be like patient. And you have to, if you're a good person and you're putting in the work and you're being consistent and you're respectful, people will recognize that even if it takes some time, because like that will always shine through.
So true.
And people with money will also recognize that too.
Facts.
Yeah. So that's at the end of the day, if you're a good person, if you're riding and if you're in the riding world and you're really being persistent and you're thankful for what you have and you really spend that time and you try and it'll come back to you. Like everything you put into the world comes back.
Exactly.
So we just have to hope for good things. So we're just going to take off from here.
Yeah, we're going off.
We're going to put me in the hot seat now. Wait, what are we doing?
Wait, I think I did put you in the hot seat.
Yeah, I was already in the hot seat.
Yeah, you were already in the hot seat. Wait a minute. I was like, wait a minute.
Okay, so basically I noticed like a lot of comments too coming from like Western riders.
Okay.
And I wanted to compare like if you knew, like we can kind of discuss like too like the different worlds I feel like have such different stigmas, like the Western riders versus like the English riders. And so even like dressage, like how do you think like money and price has to do with that? Because I feel like the Western riders, maybe this is me being ignorant, but I don't I think it's cheaper for them to
It
be able
has
to
to
ride.
be cheaper.
Yeah.
It has to be cheaper. Like,
horse shows have to be
and I'm
cheaper.
not saying that like
because they trailer out for a day.
Yeah.
We have to be there for Monday through Sunday.
Yeah, and it's not just Monday through Sunday. You go to WEF, you're showing 12 weeks. Like,
Yeah.
some people show all the 12 weeks, but, like, you're picking, like, weeks. Like, even, not even WEF, but I do that at Thermal.
Yeah.
I'll be like, okay, I can afford week 1, week 3, and week 8.
Yeah.
And, like, I tell my trainer that. But you're going back to back. Week 2, week 3, you take a break, then you're back. And it's like, you're there for a week. And it's like, I'm not saying that Western is cheap. I'm not saying that.
It still has to do with a horse. There's a
No.
horse involved, so it's on.
Because I've seen like Western horses go for millions of dollars. I have seen that. If you go to like the quarter horse shows, like those horses go for like 2-3 million.
And I do have to say
yeah.
that's like the one. I know quarter horses is like one of the breeds that like is so exclusive in the U.S. because they actually don't have that in Europe, and so it's kind of like reversed. Like in Europe, they have all these like crazy jumpers that are coming left, right, and center, and so for them, when they get like a half quarter horse something over there, they're like, wow, this horse is like half quarter horse.
Yeah,
like,
they're like, this is amazing.
It's like the reverse. Like here we like want the jumpers coming in from Europe, and here we have so many quarter horses. You know what I mean? So it's like it's so funny when I'm in France to see like that difference. Yeah, and it's so funny.
But yeah, I think that's that's such a good point as well. It's like our quarter horses are literally like there's like so much good breeding that goes in the quarter horse world. But like that's what I'm saying is like I don't think Western is a cheap sport. It's not, and I want to really break that stigma too and like give it to my Western riders and say like your sport is not cheap. And like a lot of people equate it to like, oh, they're cheap or whatever. It's not cheap to be a Western rider. It's still so expensive. But it's not more expensive than the English. No. I will say. There's
and it's
no
not
way.
As expensive as English either.
No way. No,
there's no way.
Fat chance.
Yeah.
Fat chance. Like the boots alone are like $2,000.
Yeah.
Then you got like a derby coat, like $1,000.
Yeah, all the different. But yeah.
Like just all the attire that you have to have, especially if you're doing hunters. Then you have to think about your braiding costs, which is like braiding is so much money. Like I
think
spend.
Do they braid in the Western? I think they do the long braids. Don't
they do the long braids.
Yeah.
But like I spend about like for the hunter braids that I spend about like $890 a week, and then like for the grooming, I spend about like $700 a week or something for like grooming, 600, 700 or something like 600, 700 with tip. But that's for grooming.
Yes.
And like that's just hunter bills alone. That's not even talking about show jumping. Show jumping is a little cheaper for sure because you don't have to spend the grooming and the braiding and all that stuff. But
and
like
entered in like 5 different classes.
Yeah, exactly. Like
jumper,
then
you just have their one class.
Exactly. Hunters, you have to enter in so many different classes. So like there's no way Western riding is like more expensive than like English riding.
No, exactly.
No way.
Well,
but we love them.
We love them.
You know.
Bro,
what was that?
Do we keep that in? No. Okay, so we're back to the questions.
Back to the questions.
Not only is the sun going down, so lighting's getting worse and worse, I'm also starting to freeze.
Mm-hmm. I'm literally starting to get so cold. But I'm going to ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
So, we already know that horse riding is a very expensive sport. So expensive that so many celebrities do it. Bella Hadid, or Gigi Hadid?
Bella and Gigi.
She also
yeah,
rides?
She used to more. I think she was doing more the jumpers, and Bella was really doing the eck. And then Bella rides now, but I don't think Gigi still rides.
Okay, that's amazing. So Bella Hadid.
But the mom has horses. Her mom.
Awesome. Has horses. Bella Hadid, Kendall Jenner, all these people are equestrians. The thing is, like Bella Hadid, we see on the circuit. Like she goes around. But the thing is, none of these celebrities really ride on the circuit. Like the celebrities that I see always do like weird kind of like, again, riding for my backyard runs because they're a necessity and I said it before, but they're always doing like backyard riding almost. Why do you think that is? Like
which celebrities?
There are so many celebrities that I have personally seen that I feel like are just like not, like it's not riding and like they're not really like showing. Like I think I'm blanking on this person's name, but they're just a new celebrity that like the equestrian world is kind of on heats about it right now. I think anybody will know who I'm talking about. I can't remember the name, but they're going viral right now because they're riding in like really weird conditions that it's just like, what are you doing? That's just like, why did you guys have so much money but you hire the weirdest trainers?
Maybe they don't know.
Do you think they don't know? But then why they have so much money?
But then it's like maybe they just like, it's like when you grow up like buying like crappy TVs and then you have $1 million, but then you know that What would be the comparison?
I don't know. I'm not. You're the analogy queen. You're like good at analogies. I'm not
I
good
don't
at
even
that.
have analogies.
But like, I just feel like a lot of like celebrities are just like led astray in the sport. But I don't understand why. Like, why do they go off into the deep end? Like,
well, I think a lot of them, like the ones that aren't let off into the deep end, I think they did it from a really young age.
Yeah,
and
they
I think
did it,
a lot
yeah.
of times their parents like did it too.
Yeah.
And so, oh my god. Why am I like yawning? Oh my gosh, guys, sorry. It's like getting late around here.
Yeah.
Been up since crack of dawn.
Crack it on really is struggling.
But what's it called? I think that like, you know, a lot of these riders that do ride, like, I think that they've either like ridden for a long time. So like we all, at least I started off at like a really backyard barn.
Yeah.
And so it's
I
like,
did too.
So it's
Super
like you
rough.
kind of catch on to later, and it takes you a little bit to catch on.
But that's how the world, like, that's how the equestrian world almost gets you almost.
Yeah.
It gets you like that.
Well, then it's like you either have like 99-cent store pricing, and then it's like all of a sudden you're at the Four Seasons, and it's like, why is that something? Like the horse world is either the 99-cent store or the Four Seasons.
That is so true. You
like, where
literally
is
can't-
the in between?
Where's the line? Why on earth, like, are we jumping like that? And bro, please. I can't do this anymore. All right, guys. This podcast is over.
We're done.
We have been here for 10 hours.
Like, actually.
We've been, I think, 8
Yeah,
hours.
it's been 8 hours. And
No
so,
more, no más.
like, estamos muy terminado con este
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
Muchas gracias y hasta la próxima vez.
Necesito ir al baño. Honestly, guys, if you do want to sponsor this podcast, we are looking for sponsors on our podcast. Please support this absolute chaos of a mess. Support this so we can actually get an actual, like, great setup.
But we are so appreciative of you guys watching, and we'll see you on the next episode because they are coming out like fire.
Rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
Peace out.
I'll see you guys.
Bye.